Hi folks, welcome to another episode of Ferrum Wrestling 411. I'm your host Gary Holden, Sports Information Director and Assistant AD. With me is Head Wrestling Coach Nate Yetzer. Nate, congratulations.
Thanks, Gary. Appreciate it.
Great tournament last weekend. You guys ended up going out to Wheaton, Illinois. Probably one of the toughest tournaments in the country. You guys have had a brutal schedule
definitely the
this
toughest
year.
Division III tournament in the country. Yeah, absolutely.
Talk about some of the teams that were there.
I think top 5 teams. I think 4 of them were Wisconsin teams.
Okay.
They're all state schools.
Wisconsin, Parkside,
Right.
Oshkosh,
So
all them.
obviously, that's a battle. Because obviously it's very affordable for those kids.
Sure.
And, so I think that's and they're all really well-established programs. I think Whitewater winning it. Wisconsin Parkside took second, which is a Division II school. I think the third place team was Messiah. I think
Pennsylvania.
Messiah, which always has a strong team.
Okay.
And then I think it was Wisconsin lacrosse, which is in the top 5 in the country right now. So I mean, it was really competitive, and for us to finish 7th, I think we left a little bit on the table still. I think we could have called Water Wallace. It probably should have.
And that's another ranked program.
Right. Yeah, they're top 15 program, top 12 program. Really, they're really good, and so we're right there. I think we wrestled well. Obviously, some of the matches I think we lost because our conditioning wasn't that great, which is a little surprising. But we're working on that this week and the next couple weeks here.
Sure.
Get it to on par to where it needs to be, and I think we'll be fine. The guys wrestle really well. So.
Conditioning something this time of year, it's got to be a concern for you, but probably easy to rectify that situation.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I'm not I'm a little bit surprised, but not really. You don't want to peak too early. So
Sure.
our goal is peak at regionals and NCAA. It's not in February 1st. So we're on track. We just got to keep pushing the envelope and keep getting better. So.
Individually, you had a big weekend from Logan Meister. You had 4 guys get on the podium, which is the most we've ever had. We've had 3 a couple times now, or one 2 years ago, and then
3
last year, and now 4. Yeah. You had a guy win the tournament, Logan Meister. I understand he had to use overtime in the championship match, take the guy down to win the match and everything.
I think 2 or 3 overtimes. So,
okay.
Yeah, he wrestled really well. He just stayed in good position, and he stayed patient. And, he got close to scoring twice for the period. And so, finally, the third overtime, I think, he picked the kid, I think, ankle pick, and finally scored on it. Kid was scrappy, man. He was a good kid.
Messiah kid?
Yeah, he was a lot better than I thought he was, man. That kid's going to be, that kid will be an All-American, too. So it was a great test for Logan.
Is he in our region?
No, they're not.
Okay.
They're in the, I think it's the Midwest, Mid-East region.
Okay. All right, so then you had a couple other guys place. Robert Cunningham came back. He's been out for a little bit with some injuries.
Been out about a month, yeah.
And come back, placed 5th. Had to be a pretty good performance for him, just for his first competition.
Yeah. I mean, he lost the quarterfinal match, lost in overtime. In fact, we thought we were leading, and the score was wrong on the scoreboard. So I think they raised his hand. We thought we won 8-7, but the score was actually 8-8. So went to overtime, and the kid he scored on us pretty quick. And then the other match that he lost, Robert was winning pretty much the whole match and got taken down at the end. And shape, for Robert, shape was everything. I mean, shape, he was just not in great shape. He hasn't been able to train the way he needs to train for the last month. But it's encouraging to know that, he still found ways to win in the place. So I mean, he's right there. Robert's right there. He just, his region, he's gonna have to be in peak before, be in peak shape because our regional is just absolutely brutal at that weight class.
Sure. It's got to be encouraging for you too to get multiple place winners. You've had guys in the finals the last 2 years. Robert was down at 125 last year, made it to the finals and everything. He comes back and places again, a weight class up this year. It's got to be encouraging for him and for you.
Yep, absolutely it is. Very, very encouraging.
All right, let's talk about, you had a couple other guys on the podium, 6th place finishes. Tate Delaney was 6th at 285.
Yep.
This is his 2nd time placing. He was 8th last year.
Yep.
And then you had Paul Biggs, placed 6th at 149 pounds.
Yeah, but both wrestle pretty good. I think Paul, he lost 2 matches because of shape. He's still not in great shape. He can wrestle hard for 5.5 minutes. Yeah, we wrestle 7.
Sure.
And
maybe more.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but Paul, the last I think 2 or 3 weekends is the most consistent he's been in his whole career. And it's testament to him. He's making changes in order to I think he's doing a better job with his weight. Not exactly where he needs to do every week, but he's doing a better job there. Still tweaking that, and I think I think he believes himself because he knows he's bought in. He's done everything right. You know, and now I think he believes himself. Now we just need to get him a 7-minute gas tank, and
Sure.
I think he'll be. I mean, his region is wide open, wide open. I mean, I think the top guy at 57 is Derek Arnold is dropping down to 49.
Okay.
But still, I mean, you know, Paul is as good as anybody when he's on. So.
Good, good. Well, excited to see how things are going to shake out for all those guys. Let's talk a little bit about this weekend. You got the Panther Open. It's a second year running the Panther Open. How many teams do you anticipate? How many wrestlers do you feel like will be in that tournament?
Well, it's going to be bigger than I thought. You know, I think we'll have over 100 kids. I think when it's all said and done. You know, we got Pembroke coming. Shorter College Shorter University looks like they're coming. You know, obviously us. King College is bringing some guys. Liberty, I think, is sending a few guys. Appalachian State sending a few guys. So
Pembroke brought a lot of kids last year.
Yeah, they are again this year. We've got 25 guys. So you know, it should be really competitive. Every year it's gotten better and better, and this year it's going to be the best one. Now, just looking at some of the names that register already, it's pretty. You know, it's a pretty good group. So
good. And this is going to happen not at the gym. This is going to happen down at the Ferrum Family
Ferrum
YMCA.
Yep.
Okay,
So,
3 mats, 4 mats, what?
It's going to be 3 mats, I think. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
that's what we had last year.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay, great. All right, so the finals will start about what time?
You know, we're just going to kind of go. I'm not 100% sure. Probably around 4, I would think, or something
Okay.
like that. You know, so, last year, I mean, you would know. I mean, I was on the road recruiting.
Sometime in the afternoon.
Yeah. So it went pretty quick though. It was pretty really ran pretty smooth. And
any fans that would like to watch the championship matches, we do plan to stream those from the Family YMCA. So be watching for some point in the afternoon for that to start and everything. We're just not sure what exact time that's going to be and everything.
Right.
So
I think we had 3 champs last year, so it'd be nice to build on that.
yep, sure.
So.
All right, talk a little bit about Sunday. You have your senior day. You've only had a couple of home contests this year. Sunday is senior day. UNC Pembroke, a D2 program. We've had a lot of history with them. Have been wrestling them the last couple of years.
Right.
What do you anticipate what they'll bring here?
You know, I think they're always competitive. They're always really good. All 10 weights are going to be pretty competitive. So it's going to be just sitting down, like looking at the lineup and see how we match up. You know, it's good. You know, it looks right now to be 5-5, just going by just numbers. And so it's going to come down to bonus points. It's going to come down to if we show up and wrestle as hard as we can. So we're going to sit our starters obviously out of the Panther Open and focus on the Pembroke.
Sure. So you'd be looking possibly, if it's looking like a 5-5 split, we'll be obviously hoping to pick up some bonus points and avoid giving up bonus points.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's going to come down to the wire. Though I can it almost always will. I don't care if they're really good one year and we're really bad, or we're really good and they're really bad. It's just it's kind of started to become a rival. So
nice. Now that will take place over at the gymnasium, a sports gym. So prior to the match,
1 p.m.
1 p.m. Prior to the match, we plan to do a senior day ceremony. How many seniors will you have?
We have 2 seniors. They're technically seniors, I guess academically. They really have another year of eligibility if they wanted it. But Josh Austin and Paul Biggs, so 165 and 149.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, great. So we'll do a ceremony prior to the match for those guys.
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, so moving into the following week, you've got a couple of competitions. You've got you're going to Liberty on Wednesday, the 10th, February 10th.
Yep.
So you're going to Liberty, the 7:30 match.
Yep.
Okay.
I think it's 7 p.m. 7
Okay.
p.m.
And then
I think we're wrestling in there like theater.
Okay.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good. Might have to make that road trip. And then Saturday, looks like Saturday the 13th, you guys are going down for the inaugural Southern Open. Talk a little bit about that tournament, the teams that'll be in there, how that became a tournament.
Right. Well, I think there's a lot of teams down here in different conferences that don't sponsor wrestling because there's only 3 or 4 teams in each conference.
Like the USA South.
Exactly. Yeah. Like our conference. Exactly. So I think for us it was I've always wanted a conference. I think it's important, because you're gonna have some years where maybe you're down, and maybe the best you can do is win a conference title.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I think it's just another competition for our guys, and so I think this year, the inaugural year, this is kind of like the test run, see if it's formidable, and we can push forward with it with possibly doing a conference. I think Greensboro, Hampton, Sydney, Southern Virginia, and us are going to do it. I think Ozarks and Huntington for sure is going to get into it next year.
Okay.
And then I talked to a few coaches up at the Pete Wilson Invitational, and Elizabethtown is looking to do the same thing. So down in Pennsylvania, and then York, Pennsylvania, which is a really strong program as well. Yeah. They're looking for something to do as well too. So I think we can grow it into an 8-team thing. Nice. It's pretty cool. So
nice. It'd be great to see a conference kind of come out of that in the end and everything. So. So what time does that start then next Saturday down there? And it's at Greensboro College?
Yep, I believe we start at 9 a.m.
Okay,
So-
same gym that where we had the dual meet with Huntington
Exactly.
and
Yep,
Greensboro.
yep, yep.
How many mats will they have in
I
there?
think 2 or 3. So, and you know, each team is allowed to bring 2 guys this year. I think next year, if we bring in all those teams, obviously just be 1.
2 guys per weight class.
2 guys per
so
weight
20
class.
guys. Wow.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
So, I mean, we'll probably have 2 at each weight. Yeah, around probably 2 at each weight. I think we can fill, you know, 2 at each weight. So
you guys pretty much have 2 at almost every weight now.
yeah, we do.
Some weight classes.
We're a little light up top a little bit, but you know, barring any injuries or anything. So for some of our guys, this is kind of you know, obviously we still have, you know, we have 3 weights up in the air right now. Who's going to be the starter? So I think that's going to be kind of the deciding factor at the conference. It's going to decide who's going to be our 10 starters. You know, so
for the regionals.
Yep.
And the regionals are 2 weekends later, the 25th, 26th, 27th. 2-day regional this year. Washington only is hosting it up in Lexington. Are you expecting a strong field again? You guys placed 7th last year in this tournament.
Yeah, I think it's going to be it should be pretty competitive for sure. I think, you know, Wilkes leaving, you know, it's a hard gap to fill. Wilkes and I believe Scranton, they both left.
Right.
So, but I think you know, obviously NYU's still really good, and Stevens and College of Missouri are having an unbelievable year. Del Val's a little down this year, but they always show up. So,
and you still have 20 teams in it because even though you lost those 2, you picked up Greensboro.
Yep.
Oh, that's right,
Yep.
City, Greensboro.
And
How about Southern Virginia?
They come in next year.
Next year.
Yep.
Okay. So
that's I mean, it's going to be competitive, and I think yeah, I mean, obviously our goal is to win it, you know, and you know, we're going to have to wrestle. We're going to have to top our games. Like I said, College of New Jersey and Stevens Institute of Technology. They're both really good this year. I think College of New Jersey is like 16-1 right now,
wow.
and Stevens is like 15-1. So,
Okay.
but they're strong from top to bottom. So
Okay.
it should be good, very competitive.
Be interesting to see what happens,
Yep.
how that shakes out. So hopefully we can all stay healthy and everything.
Yep.
Healthy, no sickness or injuries. Or
Exactly.
anything. So
Exactly.
good. Well, listen, we'll come back then next week, talk a little bit about the Panther Open and about the Pembroke match.
Right.
And then we'll talk a little bit more later on about getting ready for the rest of the season.
Absolutely.
Great.
Thanks,
Well, thanks so much, Nate. Appreciate it. Folks, that's a wrap. We'll see you next week on Ferrum Wrestling 411.